Hi, I'm Victoria Pearson, but you can call me V, and I hope that your Monday isn't treating you too Monday-ish so far. It's actually Friday at the time that I'm filming, so I'm quite enjoying that. Now, usually Friday is my day off, but that is not the case this week. And I have been telling you guys for about 6 weeks now that I'm just so busy, I'm keeping on telling you that I'm busy, but I haven't really told you much about what I've been up to, so I thought I would do that today. I am incredibly lucky to have a great bunch of different creative friends, and all of their projects are amazing. They give me such imposter syndrome, honestly. But one of my friends, Sassy, has been working on bringing out a book. And usually when I am involved in the formation of a book in the early stages that isn't mine, it's usually, although not always, but usually it is a fiction book. And so I give it a read, I give my editorial thoughts on it, I act as a beta reader for my author friends. In this particular case, the book that Sassy is working on is a non-fiction book. See, Sassy is a blind accessibility speaker and travel writer. She is completely blind, and she travels all around the world, and she talks to all sorts of different businesses, DMOs, comms leaders, social media people, all about how to make their things more accessible. Soon, probably this week I think, she is going to be bringing out a book on how to make your digital presence more accessible, not just to blind users, but to all users. And she explains to you why doing these accessibility steps will not only increase your audience with disabled people, but also will increase your reach with your SEO and all that sort of stuff. So I think it's a fantastic book. I feel very, very honoured to have helped out during the editorial process and the publishing process. And more so than that, I have learned so much about accessibility, including how I was doing a lot of different things quite wrong. Now, I'm not going to go too deep into the content of Sassy's book, because I'm really hoping that I can convince her to come on the channel and talk to me about it in the next few weeks during her launch. I'm sure she's got a lot of different people that she's going to be speaking to about it, but I think if we all say please, please, please lots, she will come on and speak to us about it. But over the last few weeks, I've been very busy tying that up. And then after doing that, I realised, like I said, that not all of my stuff was that accessible. And so I have been going through and trying to retrospectively make my social media, my website, my Ko-fi store, all those things a little bit more accessible. And because I have been quite prolifically posting for quite a long time, it is taking me absolutely ages. But I am working on it, and I'm quite enjoying working on it. As a writer, I quite enjoy doing the visual descriptions of things for the alt text and getting the chance to really sort of stretch my descriptive muscles in that way. And so I don't mind doing it, I quite enjoy it. But I didn't realise just how badly I was doing everything until I looked at Sassy's book. So thank you so much, Sassy, for that. But also, when I started to go through to check how accessible like my website and things are, I realised that my website could do with a bit of a facelift. I built my website myself. I taught myself web design from looking at YouTube videos and swearing at things and crying at things until they did vaguely what I wanted them to do. But now I've got a bit more skill and a bit more experience with it, I feel like I could do better with it. But also, my main website is just a little bit confused at the moment. It started off as a blog, but now I don't blog my stories there anymore because I use Patreon for that. And by the way, if you haven't signed up for my Patreon yet, why haven't you signed up for my Patreon yet? It is £1 a month. You can get a 2-week free trial, and you get sporadic stories and first look at all my news. So join up on my Patreon. I'll try and remember to put it on the screen somewhere. But yeah, so I don't really use my blog for that anymore. There's a few stories still on there. You can check out my style if you like it, but most of them are now gradually being migrated over to Patreon, where you get exclusive news stories that are just for my patrons as well. Then I have also got my shop, which thankfully somebody told me is completely misbehaving at the moment. If you are one of the people whose orders didn't go through, I sincerely apologise. It was a problem my end, I think, not your end. I'm pretty sure that I have fixed it now. Just for the time being, I've dropped my stock down to 0 while I make sure that the problem is fixed. So if you are after a paperback version of one of my books, you can get them on Amazon. think you could sometimes get them on eBay as well. And I think you can get them directly from Barnes & Noble and places like that as well. So there are other places available for you to buy my books, but I am hoping to get that sorted in the next few weeks. Only I'm not sure I'm going to keep it on my website. I might move it to my Ko-fi store, because my Ko-fi store is just brilliant. It never messes up on me, and it always tells me when I've got an order, which my website doesn't always. And at the moment you can get PDF copies of my books there, which I am going to have to check are accessible versions, because I always thought that PDFs were automatically accessible, but apparently they are not. You have to do something in it to make sure that they're accessible, and so I'm going to be having to check that. But I've also got some of my artwork on there as well, and honestly that has sold so much better than I expected it to. I've currently only got one painting left on my store at the moment, which is the one that's 4 miniature paintings of the same tree all in a box frame together, and I really like the background that I did for that as well. But that is the only one that's left at the moment. All of my others have sold out already. I am working on doing some more, but I can only paint so quickly, and I don't also want to be painting really quickly so that I can get something up on my shop and feel like I've got to paint because I need it to earn money for things, because I enjoy painting. I don't want to monetize it to the point where I don't like it anymore. I think that when somebody is creating any kind of art, you can tell if they didn't enjoy making it. I think it's a bit like when your grandma says the secret ingredient to her cookies is love, but really it's vanilla extract. If you care about the work that you do and you're passionate about the work that you do, I think that it just creates a better finished product. So I don't want to put so much pressure on myself with painting that it feels like a job. But over the next few weeks, some more paintings will hopefully be going on there. I have started one that I don't know if it's going to work out or not, but it's a new technique for me. I'm starting with a completely black canvas, and I'm hoping to paint the painting using just light. So I'm not painting the actual objects on it, just the light that's on them. Really hoping that that turns out the way that I want it to, because in my head it looks amazing. Whether I will be able to execute it or not is another question. Now on Ko-fi you can actually sign up if you're not a creator and just use your account to follow creators that you like. So if you've got a Ko-fi account, or if you haven't, it is free to set up. You can follow me on there and you'll be able to see straight away when new artworks or paperbacks or anything else go onto my Ko-fi store. On my Ko-fi store as well, I have my readings where you can book me for tarot card readings. I do both long and short tarot card readings on there, and so there are a range of budgets. And on everything on my Ko-fi store, and this is what I really do love about my Ko-fi store, is that you can put a minimum price on, and then people can pay more if they want to, if they can afford it, or if they think that it's worth more. And so that way, I'm not excluding the people that can't afford these things, which is important to me. I want everybody to feel included and able to participate in the things that I do. But also, if you can afford to give a bit more, you can do that. And I think that's brilliant with Ko-fi. So I have set my minimum prices as low as I possibly can to cover my costs on all of my products. And then with my short and long forms, I've just done, I think it's 10 and 20, for £10 for a short card reading, that's a 3-card pull, and 20 for a more in-depth reading, which is usually a 9, but sometimes I'll go further with it, depending on what I feel at the time. And I do a mix of all different tarot decks, and I use my coin, and sometimes I throw runes or bones or whatever it feels right at the time for the reading for you. And then I'll give you that in an email. I don't do that on YouTube, so you don't have to worry about all your business being spoken about on here. I only do the generic readings that are sort of for whoever turns up on YouTube. And so yeah, I'm thinking about expanding my Ko-fi store, adding my paperbacks onto there so that I can drop my store off of my website. And I don't really know what I'm going to use my website for, but we'll think of something. I don't want to let go of my domain, because victoriapearson.co.uk, I was lucky to grab that because it is my name. And at the moment you can still find all of the links to everything that I'm talking about on that website. It just looks a little bit dated at the moment. I want to update it. But Ko-fi is looking quite fresh and funky. I do like that they let you customize the different way that your pages looks as well. It lets you choose your own colors and all that sort of thing. And so it's got enough about it that I can make it my own, but it deals with enough of the stuff for me that I don't have to worry that I have done something wrong. I haven't updated something. I forgot to update my checkout, and now none of you can pay for things, and all the sorts of problems that I was having with my website I don't get any of those issues with Ko-fi. So I'm quite enjoying using Ko-fi at the moment, and I'm thinking about expanding it. I'm also thinking about adding a commissions page on there that's not for my tarot readings, that's more for like my writing, my video editing, my virtual assistanting, that sort of thing. But I will let you know when I update if I do. So if you haven't already, check out my Ko-fi store. I'm putting the details there. It's ko-fi.com/VSPearson85, because I am VS Pearson 85 everywhere that I appear on the internet, wherever that's Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky, Threads even. I'm VS Pearson 85 everywhere, so you'll always be able to find me using that. Create yourself a profile on there, even if you're not a creator, because then you can use it to browse updates that people put, and you can see my latest products. A lot of Ko-fi creators do like blog on there as well. I don't. I'm too lazy for that. I haven't got time for it. But I neglect the blogs that I've got enough. But lots of other creators do, and I find it really, really interesting watching sort of how they do their craft and stuff. I follow some jewellery makers, for example, and I really enjoy when they post blogs about how they made a particular piece. I find it really interesting. And so it is well worth getting a Ko-fi account, even if you don't personally create anything that you would like to sell on Ko-fi. Next week, I am hoping that Sassy's book project will be all finished, and I won't be quite as busy as I usually am, because I've been doing quite a bit to help her out with that, because obviously a lot of the publishing platforms that we use are just not accessible to people that can't see the screen, and that is something that they really do need to improve quite urgently. They make a lot of noises about improving these things, but not everywhere does actually improve them when they've made those noises. And so I've been supporting her with that, and publishing a book of any kind takes a lot of time, and when you've got extra barriers in place, it takes even longer. Which again is something that the publishing platforms could really help with, because if they made their publishing platforms a bit more accessible for all users, then it would just make the whole process a bit more seamless, and we would get to hear from more disabled creators as well, which would only be a good thing for everybody, I think. Anyway, next week I'm hoping that this project will be put to bed and it'll all be finished and it'll be out, and I'll be able to invite Sassy on and tell her to tell you all about it. Probably not on the first week that she has published, because I'm sure she's got other stuff to do, but we'll drag her on here eventually. I can't wait for you guys to meet her. When the book actually comes out, I will probably mention it in my daily gratitude, so I'll post the link there as well, and I'll post it on my Ko-fi. Why not? We'll put a blog post on my Ko-fi about it. I might as well blog something. I'm not quite sure what we're going to be talking about next week. It's probably not going to be my boring busy weeks again. Maybe I will show you some of my artwork if I get a chance to actually start it, or maybe we'll go out for a day if it's not too hot and muggy. I'm not sure yet. But either way, I will be here Monday morning, 6 AM UK time, talking about something. And if you can't wait until then to see me again, I am here every single morning in your shorts, taking a great big deep breath, letting you know what I'm grateful for, sometimes having a tantrum about what's challenging me that day. And I will be here on a Witchy Wednesday doing an intuitive tarot card pull for you as well. Until then though, you have yourself a magical week.